Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is famish. To cause to suffer severely from hunger. To suffer for lack of something necessary. So I like these action words, they're inherently gamey, which is cool. And sometimes they're just a synonym for another existing gaming term. Like this one, to deplete, or to cause to suffer, just prevention in general. But I want to try to dig deeper and look at, the core of this word, as opposed to those other ones that are just already in use. So, to cause to suffer from hunger is to starve something or to starve someone. Getting deeper, it's just to prevent someone, or actually going more general, it's just to prevent someone. But what makes famish unique is that it's specifically tied to food. At least in the main definition is. So if a game was named Famish, it would probably be a game about causing other people to starve, or overcoming being starving, or causing yourself to starve for whatever reason. Stepping a little wider, it could be a game about a land that is poisoned, or crops that have spoiled, and the undoing and jumping back from that. That starts to take it into more interesting territory. And so as an action, if there was an action called famish, it could mean to drain someone of a resource, particularly a crucial one that assists in their survival, so food, water, or air. And thinking of this at a personal level, it's a very dark concept. So we're starving people, and sometimes you want to do things that you wouldn't do normally in a game for whatever reason, but that's one of those things where that's not that's not cool. So it doesn't lend itself well. The opposite, to overcome starvation or to destroy crops or whatever, is it starts to step away and become more palatable and playable. So we're gonna look at my alternate challenge, which seems like every day that I'm stopping midway with a new thing. But my alternate challenge is just to lighten this up a little and to try to take a human element out of it. We're not going to starve people. So players are climbing Mount Famish, a mountain that is known to be impossible to reach the summit. Why? Well, the legend is the mountain is a living body, just like those climbing it, except on a very spiritual level. It will get in your mind, it will mess with your cravings, your desires, and your needs. You need to be able to eat food as you travel, and the mountain will poison its vegetables, arm the beasts that are living on it, all just to protect itself. It doesn't want you climbing to the top for whatever reason. It's hiding something, or it's just afraid of people, or just it's very angry or whatever. It just wants to protect itself. So you need water as well, so it can pollute or boil its rivers, dry up the clouds, or arm them with lightning just to prevent you from succeeding in getting up there. And you need air to breathe, which it can just remove at the higher altitudes. So the Famish Mountain is a battle against, what is it? I can't even read my own writing here. The Nists. But it's a battle against natural and treacherous elements. Players will have to get crafty once they get hit with a new challenge, or they need to back down the mountain. And nobody wants to back down the mountain. So then on the next page I have an alternate thought, which is sort of one that we already discussed. But I like that mountain idea. It's really cool theme. And I could see it working. I could see it being solo, which is cool. And you're just kind of, or even, cooperative. Obviously, it would be cooperative, but solo is neat. So my final alternate thought for Famish is, let's say, a card game of competing farmers. You build your farm while trying to ruin others. Without being a take that direct assault on a single player game, you can just try to mess with the in-game ecosystem enough to shift things poorly for your opponents without souring your own progress. And I can imagine a game where you make no positive decisions, only negative ones, which could be pretty harsh. So players are growing crops. I poison the soil for corn, for example. It might spread into mine a little bit and, impact mine, but I would have to weigh the options of what which ones I don't want to spoil and which ones I do. If it's one of those things where if it's all negative decisions, you just pick the least worst for you. But I'd like to say that it needs to be more complex than that. So those are the two ideas I had, and like I said, I like the mountain. The other one, just everything being negative, is, I don't want to say no fun, but you never know. There could be. But thinking deeper since then, just the starving of yourself is interesting. And we didn't talk about that. And on a very on a literal level, why would you starve yourself? That's not, an interesting game. But starving yourself from a mechanical level, preventing yourself from getting something that you need for some other gain is interesting. Resisting would be interesting. So, and sort of going back to yesterday's episode and linking them all together this week. Yesterday's episode was adapt, and the resource that you take the least of in one round becomes your goal for the next round. And opposite of that would be the resource that you have the most of becomes the one that would it be the one you have the most of? No, so the resource that you need the most of becomes the one that you skip the next round. So instead of gaining it and getting some additional points, is you get it as a goal to not get it again. Get the least resources I had this round was oranges, and my goal for next round is to also not get any oranges. The problem is if you need a little bit of everything to combine, to sell, or whatever, skipping it for a second round in a row could probably be pretty dangerous. So that's a neat little territory to look into. Just rewarding somebody for restraining. So I'm going to think about that a little more, because that's new to me since the notebook. It didn't make it in the notebook. I should probably add it to the notebook, or it will be lost. It'll be on the podcast, but it'll be out of my eyes. So, all right, there we go. If you have something for Famish, please share. I'll be keeping my eye out for it. Okay, see you guys tomorrow.